Hold on. Yes, now we're live.
Call the meeting to order. I am going to executive. Can you read the sunshine law, please?
And notice requirements of the New Jersey Public Meetings Law have been satisfied by notice in the Asbury Park Press and the Two River Times on January 3rd, 2020. Regular meeting of the Colts Neck Township Committee would be held on January 28th, 2026 at 7 p.m. Town Hall, 1 Veterans Way, Colts Neck. A copy is on file in the office of the Township Clerk. Further notice was provided to the Asbury Park Press and the Two River Times on January 20th, 2026, noting that the meeting time change from 7 p.m. to 6 p.m.
May I have a roll call, please?
Yes, Committeeman Tabia.
Here.
Committeewoman Buss.
Here.
Committeeman Rizzuto.
Here.
Deputy Mayor Bezzetta.
Here.
And Mayor Viola.
Here. Resolution 2026-41, executive session. Whereas the Open Public Meetings Act, NJSA 10:4-12B, permits the exclusion of the public from a meeting in certain circumstances. And whereas the Colts Neck Township Committee finds that such circumstances exist, now therefore be it resolved by the Colts Neck Township Committee as follows. 1, the public shall be excluded from discussion of any action upon hereinafter specified subject matter. 2, the general nature of the subject matter to be discussed is potential litigation pursuant to NJSA 10:4-12B7 and personnel confidential pursuant to NJSA 10:12B8. The committee will not take action during closed executive session. It is anticipated that the session will last approximately 60 minutes. It is anticipated at this time that the above mentioned subject matter will be made public when the need for confidentiality no longer exists, and this resolution shall become effective immediately. Any comments? May I have a motion?
Moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Off to executive.
check anybody if you lose them. Yeah, I called the commissioners and I called them. And the chief pulled me off. The chief pulled me off. Chief, I spoke to him. After the meeting. Definitely. Well, he gave me tomato. Tomato. Yeah, we were talking about the speed, right? Yeah. But did you lift about the child cost that you gave? Yes. I shared that with the circle for you. And we have projections for the years. And the cost savings would be also great, $228 million. Enough cost. That's what I was trying to bring
Well,
up.
that was my point.
That was my
Exactly.
point.
That's my
What
point,
was my
the 1
point?
year, it was like that. The 1 year.
Like, why are you not doing something $1 million a year and then get all your money back? But they need to get a house already. And somebody else, I'm not sure what your company or not, a shared housing authority right now. Yes, I is that she was at home.
Well, they were the ones that said you needed housing authority. They said it right here.
Sure.
Yeah.
But what also, what is the problem with,
I mean, they didn't possibly didn't need something like that, but we were getting to this situation where it
Yeah,
was
why?
going to look like that. Is that, that's not the spot that they're talking about that,
No.
you guys.
They have 1 acres, but they're 1 acres across the street from the other 60. Whatever it is, they farm it out 1 acre, so they get a lease and they farm. Is it on 5 points next to Uncle John's house? But then you're putting all the traffic in one spot. You wouldn't have much traffic. Yeah, but it's like 260.
It's really fine, but it's small.
Traffic over. Only in a road section. Why? And put 30 minutes in this quadrant, 30 minutes in that quadrant, yeah, I mean, it shouldn't go from here to 360. That's just putting whatever we did. But you try to get through 18, forget it. You have to get in touch to go. Bypass 537. I don't think.
Well, they're not even in there yet.
I don't know.
Depending on the time of day, you know. Yeah.
You can't speak for Walmart, you can't speak for the other towns, but here. Speak for the, you know, gas car. Well, now, we shoot that.
It is everything you're the deer pepper. That's the way it goes.
Because we didn't want to be around. And as we, my house, behind the barn, we used to play baseball. And then we started working. It's not. But they, you know, I say $1 million a year, it's $12 million, it's $12,000. Yeah, but it's still $12 million. And after 12 years, you get the money back. Put out a bond. You put out a bond for the road. It's liability to the park.
Yeah, that's why they need a more playground on it.
Yeah, no.
I have a daughter who's going to be driving soon, and I'm not going to let my daughter drive until I school. I'm scared to death. Just get his accidents there all the time. I can't afford to have another, I can't afford for more accidents for, you know. My oldest saving grace is I don't be at work at 6:30 in the morning, so I beat most of it in the morning, but it's still, and I get home, yeah, I go a little early, but I don't go that way by there. But I was still concerned with my daughter that has to go to the high school, have to get her home, even if it's not free. She has extracurricular activities, she's there till 4:30.
Hey, how are you? How's school?
School, I'm out of school. I've been out of school. No. Pharmaceuticals.
Well, good for you.
I changed that route. Nice to meet you. Ni hao.
I just think that,
Ni hao.
I just don't think that the entire state is going to.
How long was the last time? I had to leave after 9.
Yeah. I'm not gonna stay up for time.
This summer should be a little short. Oh.
It's cold. Can't be done.
Oh, you're sitting right ready to just start.
Man. Head to Arizona and Florida. Well, then they were staying in Florida. That's pretty good.
No, when I went last week, it was snowing.
In Florida. Where did you go?
I went to Orlando. I was, and it's
Okay.
it was literally snowing because I had family.
Well, not
Unbelievable. How much did they get? Just the
Yeah,
dust?
they got the dust.
Yeah.
I had some jobs that.
You know, and they're back, we got to stay over, stay on the ice, but they have-
Oh, yeah.
The
whole week.
You know, the weather's bad. My niece went to down to North Carolina. Right. It was January, but they usually take Duke, North Carolina. They canceled North Carolina game because of ice. And I spoke, I remember she getting on the phone, she said, I had 250 miles, and I had to drive down. She said, they can't drive. They'll end up killing people.
Where in North Carolina?
So that's right.
Oh, that's not too far. Greensboro, yeah.
No. So for 30 years, I worked on ships, so they're kind of like, and so I'm not a wind farm, and there's, and so I left, and I was like, that's why I left. Climate change, not just nowadays, it's hot.
But that colonial that has the,
I'm sorry. You know what, I'll get it by the wall. Town, and I see the text on the town hall. Yes. Yes, I know. So you moved up, where was that?
me,
Yeah. The worst is the time of year. I try to be in the growing.
Tomatoes.
Whatever they got.
Yeah.
Yeah, fly.
Yeah.
Johnny Short. I always, yeah. Glad you do. Okay, thank you. Okay, I'm sorry. So, Dave. No, yeah, Dave. I used to, he does some choreography here. I had, I put in the, yeah, I mean, please, yeah. He's sorry, he's fine. Then he moved over to something, which is free home, but he's close to that. So I was just making sure he was responsive. Yeah. There you go. You got that. That's a safety issue. Oh, good. Good job. You know what, I have heard it, but I don't even know exactly.
With the beach, sort of next to the park. Yeah.
They have. So the real price is 1.5.
So, I guess over there, I'll leave.
You apply for real.
And then there is how this is.
Yes.
So there's
Yeah, I know. Well, you just, why would you choose that? Congratulations.
usually, no, this is the first time I haven't seen this, so I asked him. See the time, I haven't done this on the dress.
It wasn't just for toilets, it was for sensory.
That's.
So we just have to.
Let me go see the show. I didn't recognize you.
I did.
The whole time.
Come on.
How does Ronnie feel about that? Is she glad to be around there, or is she just saying, you know?
They don't change the screen. Well, you can watch.
When I thought to go, it's gonna be this year, it'll be 27. I wanna have something to go. I might just talk about like,
So that's similar to the regular budget. Recreation.
how many acres do you have?
What does that have to do with it?
Did his kid, now he had children, they didn't want it, or after he passed?
So as far as low income housing. Helps on you. I know there was words, but it's low.
They give you a nice little send off, a nice little party. Yeah.
So we're gonna have to.
Right, right. So now with the building, that's. Not for the winter, I'm just in the winter guy anymore, it's just actual. It was.
Tony isn't coming
Like,
tonight.
used to-
He just flew in. From Arizona. He's working with David Cole.
And I thought,
Yeah.
what they need,
I can't believe it.
this,
I just.
yeah, she gets this. I want my girl to walk.
So I was a great Rogers fan.
No, he has to. He was something when it sounded.
Oh my God.
I think we refused to get it.
I wish I had. She gives me. Okay. What's that?
No, I don't have
And especially in a cold.
This guy was actually.
She's out.
You guys have Gregory Clyde on that?
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
yeah. Yeah.
Oh, I was, those are the ones that are
Oh, that's not the one that people have to work
Oh, you are?
You were.
No.
You've been out on your No, regular fish.
It's always the day before. Well, not necessarily, but that's the first one.
Chairperson. Was, who was there? Oh, George, it's, I know, this is. Luckily.
I voted as the.
Yeah, that's right. 3 to 5, he was a nice thing.
Yeah. Well, That was just like. Yeah.
Every single one.
Oh, there you go. Then you can point every single thing. Yeah, I see that.
That's right. Absolutely.
Yes. Yes.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's a tough. That's a tough.
Like that, do something.
I remember I went to a Catholic high school. So I started at a Catholic high school. You never saw anything as far as.
I was on 33rd Street, they by Manhattan, everybody's stuff.
I go to public school.
So that's where we're on. So we're gonna, that was during the court.
God's love.
I'm sorry, I think it must be the other apartment. Same thing on the other side.
Could be, yep.
Hey, Kathleen, I'm sorry, can you hit the
Oh,
button
yeah.
again? It, when there's no movement, it goes off.
Why is my seat? Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Welcome. Can the public stand for a flag salute and please remain standing for a moment of silence and reflection? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you.
I thought I wanted to sit for a moment of silence.
Item number 7, proclamation, National Wear Red Day. Committeewoman Buss, would you read the proclamation?
Would be happy to, Mayor. Mayor's proclamation supporting 2026 National Wear Red Day for women within Colts Neck Township, February 6, 2026. Whereas cardiovascular disease is the #1 killer of women in the United States and worldwide, claiming more lives than all forms of cancer combined. And whereas National Wear Red Day is observed annually on the first Friday in February to raise awareness about heart disease and stroke in women, encouraging them to take charge of their heart health. And whereas Association's signature women's initiative designed to increase women's heart health awareness and serve as a catalyst for change to improve the lives of women globally. And whereas 2026 marks the 12th anniversary of Wear Red Day, a movement that has grown to include over 700,000 participants joining together to change hearts, minds, and lives. And whereas all citizens are encouraged to wear red, share information about the warning signs of heart disease, and support cardiovascular research and education to help reduce the number of women dying prematurely from heart disease. Now, therefore, I, Tara Torsha Buss, on behalf of Michael Viola, Mayor of Colts Neck Township, do hereby proclaim Friday, February 6, 2026 as National Wear Red Day in Colts Neck Township, and I encourage all citizens to wear red to show their support for women's heart health and to participate in the activities that promote a healthier, longer life.
Thank you, Committeewoman.
Thank you. Thank you for allowing me to read that. Obviously, I'm starting my wear red early.
Item number 8, minutes, January 14th, 2026 executive session and January 14th, 2026 regular meeting. Are there any comments, edits, amendments?
Not from me. I would like to make a motion.
Is there a second?
Second?
Roll call.
Committeeman Tibia.
Yes.
Committeewoman Bus.
Yes.
Committeeman Rizzuto.
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Buzetta.
Yes.
Mayor Viola.
Yes. Item number 9, new business, consent agenda. All items listed on the consent agenda are considered routine by the township and are adopted or approved collectively by a single motion and roll call vote of a majority of the township committee. If discussion is desired on any item, it is considered separately. Resolution 2026-42, -43, and -44. Is there a motion?
Move.
I'll second that.
Roll call?
Committeeman Tibia.
Yes.
Committeewoman Bus.
Yes.
Committeeman Rizzuto.
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Buzetta.
I think I need to abstain from voting on this because one of the items deals with the fire department.
You can abstain just by identifying which you're abstaining.
Okay? I'm abstaining from resolution 2026-44.
Very good.
I'd like to
Same.
recuse myself on that same condition.
Understood.
Yes.
And Mayor Viola.
Yes.
Thank you.
Approval of vouchers. Deputy Mayor and Finance Chair Buzetta.
Thank you, Mayor. I reviewed the vouchers. The total number is a very large number. It's $4,613,811.28. But 94.4% of that amount, or $4,345,606, comprise 3 payments, 2 of which is to the Colts Neck Board of Education, and to the tune of $3,214,058, and 1 payment is to the Freehold Regional High School District for $1,131,548. So as everyone knows, the municipality collects tax dollars, of which a portion of which is for the county, the high school district, the Board of Education, and so on. So we collect the money, we're a clearinghouse, and then we disperse the money. And in this case, 94% of that total amount is being dispersed back to the Board of Education and the Freehold Regional High School. The remaining balance, $237,778.97, comprise various expenditures. For example, just by way of example, phone, cable technology for the various departments is $5,981.97. Electric costs for the month, $6,488.64. Road salt, brine, and parts for the storm, not the most recent one, but the past one, $34,517.64. Medical bills, $107,111.23, and legal fees relating to affordable housing, $50,278.40. So that's just a snapshot of where your tax dollars have gone this month. So with that, Mayor, I move the amount of $4,613,811.28 for approval.
Is there a second?
Comments?
Comment?
As I mentioned at the last meeting, the attorneys for affordable housing, I believe that they should be billing consistently as far as whether spelling out the client and or the individual that they're talking to at the township. I think $50,000 this month, we should at least know who they're talking to as far as the township. So Ms. Bennett, if you can.
Certainly, Mr. Tabia.
Talk to them.
I've spoken to Tom Troutner, who's the head of this affordable housing team, and he has said that from this point forward, he will be billing and giving exact names every time that there's an entry.
Thank you.
I'm sorry, can I ask a question in relation to that?
Sure.
and this is not necessarily specific to your question, I like the transparency in that. My only concern is when we're talking about litigation, the spelling out of some specific names, could that be problematic?
What Mr.
for-
Tabia had an issue with.
Yeah,
it's-
I
it
might
was-
not have understood what you
Yeah,
were asking.
the question which was posed last time was, it said talk to client. It should say talk to Tara Buss, talk to Mr. Viola, talk to Committeeman
Oh.
Tabia.
And there is some of that
Right.
within there, so it's inconsistent in the way he's making his descriptions.
Right.
Gotcha. Okay.
I think there are multiple people that are billing on this, and everyone needs to be consistent and saying who they're talking to when they're talking to us. And that would not be an issue for litigation.
Thank you.
So that'll be rectified on the next invoice.
Yes.
Is that good, Committeeman?
Yes, thank you.
Who is the second?
I don't think we have one
Need
yet.
a second on the bills?
I will second that.
Roll call.
Committeeman Tabia.
I will vote no on the affordable housing attorney and vote yes on all the others.
Okay, Committeewoman Buss,
Yes, with the exception of bills related to the municipal court.
Committeeman Rizzuto,
Yes,
usual
With the
exceptions.
usual
with
exceptions.
the usual exception of the fire department.
Deputy Mayor Buzetta,
Yes, with the usual exception for the fire department.
and Mayor Viola.
Yes, with the usual exceptions, Jolene Landscaping, Best Horticulture, and Bucks Tree Service. Thank you.
Thank you.
Administrators report.
Thank you, Mayor. Obviously, the most important thing I wanted to chat about this evening or discuss this evening is the storm. We obviously are just still kind of getting out from under, figuratively and literally. Just a quick recap. I don't know how much you know in terms of what we do in preparation for these storms. We did hold, hosted by our OEM coordinator, Tyler Badaracco. This was back on Friday, prior to the storm, knowing that the forecast was imminent, that we were getting some type of precipitation, as well as, the totals changed throughout, as they typically do. But we held a meeting with representatives from the local emergency planning committee, Department of Public Works, Fire Department, Police Department, First Aid Squad, et cetera, just to ensure readiness in terms of personnel, equipment, fuel, all the things that you anticipate you may need with an event such as this. The other thing we wanted to ensure, should there have been that there weren't, that we were ready with comfort stations. Then prior to that, on Friday, we did begin brining in accordance with our ice and snow control 30 to 35 miles of our 100 miles of roads in Colts Neck. So those were brined in advance of the storm. During the storm, obviously, our Public Works Department, they take the lead in terms of salting and initial plowing. Once it gets to a certain level, our contractor is brought in, Slopebrook. So between the contractor and the Township Department of Public Works personnel, it was a good 30, 35-hour event. Not only was it snow, we then had freezing rain for about 4 hours, and then we had more snow. So complications, concerns. And now one of the probably most challenging things is these temperatures. So we are managing the strategy of when and where to use ice control in terms of salt, given that 20 below temperatures and lower, the salt really is not effective, unfortunately. The other interesting challenge was, in fact, the salt shortage, and I use air quotes for those of you who can't see me but can hear me, in that there was a lot of conversation really started bubbling up late last week that there was a shortage of salt. It was accessibility. It was the ability for the commercial contractors to access it and get it to the people that were reports in Newark. But the availability of salt was there. It just was, we were having a difficult time getting it. We had plenty through the storm, but used most of it. So we were down to about 100 tons. We used about 200 plus tons during the storm. We're down to about 100 tons. Our shared service agreement with the county, that was shut off back on Thursday because they too, I think, were challenged. Don't know exactly why, but they too, I think, were challenged in getting salt. So for all those participating municipalities with the county, they said, hey, we've got to, we can't give you guys any salt right now. Yesterday, the mayor, I think you participated in a conference call with Senator Gopal. Commissioner Arnone participated in that and did announce that salt from the county would be available. So we immediately did contact him, and we will be picking up salt on Friday. So we are now utilizing the reserve of 100 tons, 100 tons to hit those hot spots. So I know there's been a lot of members of the public that have reached out saying, hey, can you give my road a kiss? It seems to need some additional attention. Lou and his crew has been out doing that today and doing additional salting. Once again, some of the good news: no power outages, no down trees that I'm aware of, none that were reported. So those are all good things. No injuries, no accidents in terms of township personnel. We did have some motor vehicle accidents, people sliding off the roads that the police managed, very few first aid and fire calls. So those were all good things. So that's pretty much it. And I just want to express my personal thanks to our OEM team, the Department of Public Works, all the first responders, Slopebrook, our contractor. I think, as far as an effort is concerned, they did a great job.
Thank you. And I did speak with Commissioner Director Arnone directly, as well as the governor's office, and they're very consistent in their message. Things hopefully will be loosening up a little bit in the supply. So
Right.
Thank you for that. Committee reports. Committeeman Tabia.
No reports except environmental met for the first time on the reorg, so we did the reorg. The other thing I'd like to bring forth to the governing body, which I'll give the township administrator, I attended the Monmouth County 250 municipal officials meeting last night, and all the municipalities received that from the county along with other assistants. It was very well attended, and there's a lot of stuff planned that you can go onto their website, and I know that we're dovetailing some of it. But Monmouth County has a lot of items planned for that. And I too, Mr. Viola, had a conversation with Director Arnone regarding the salt and snow and ice control operations. And I'm thankful to the director for his continued support in getting us salt moving forward.
Thank you. Committeewoman Buss.
Thank you. Again, my report is light. We canceled the Municipal Alliance meeting that was supposed to be Monday night. It unfortunately was an important meeting to have, but we didn't get a chance to do it. So we've been having some phone conversations back and forth. And the reason being, as you saw in our consent agenda, Friday is the deadline to submit the report for the Municipal Alliance. Just so people are aware, the Municipal Alliance provides the lion's share, 75% of the funding for our Colts Neck Prevention Alliance, which is an active group which does things like fund speakers that go into the schools, the lower level schools, and the higher level schools. The high school's always been a little bit more utilizing the funds simply because of the speakers and the money available. And the town funds another 25% and does a match. Okay, so that's really how it works. A lot of towns are moving away from getting they call them GUDSU funds, only because there's a lot of restrictions on what you can use the money for. So what is usually kind of like a simple plug and play, what we're going to use the grants for, different speakers, National Night Out, all of that. This year has been a bit of a scramble because there's been tremendous amounts of restrictions placed on that funding, including a large amount of funding that was cut from a federal level. So this Friday, they will be submitting for that grant funding as well. So I just thank Anita Dedalius for all her work. She works very hard on the Municipal Alliance, putting that together. I had the pleasure of attending the Colts Neck Business Association meeting, and they talked about the birthday party. I don't know if we have any of these in the back. I don't know if Al may have dropped those off for me. Somebody dropped these off. But they talked about a lot of different events, including the February 22nd, 2026. I'm sorry, am I ruining I feel like I just stole your thunder. I'm sorry. But I was excited. They talked about it and a bunch of other celebration events as well. So they had that last night. It was very well attended despite the weather.
And can I just interrupt right
Yes.
there? We have on the municipal website, under community and then local happenings, that's going to be the portal for all the 250 celebration activities. So those flyers are already
Thank you.
posted there. We'll try to get that message out to people. So if they're looking for a one-stop shopping on to the 250th celebration, we've created a location on the website for that.
Thank you. Appreciate it. And then last but not least, I know I mentioned it last time, May 2nd and May 3rd is going to be the next Friends of the Library book sale. I don't have the flyers yet, but you know I will bring those whenever they start collecting and for books. So that's all I have for now.
Thank you, Committeewoman. Committeeman Rizzuto.
Yes, well, I'll sell it better than Mayor Busted.
Yes, I know. It was poor. It was
So
poor.
yes, I'll start off with First Aid Squad first. I'd like to thank First Aid, Fire, and Fire Police and Police for all their work during the storm. It was a well-coordinated effort. Thank you, Kathleen and Tyler, from the OEM standpoint for doing it. I'm sorry I missed the call. I was at a funeral. But Tyler did call me and kept me briefed. And like I said, it could have been a lot worse. We were prepared for it. We had the warming stations and the plan all set up in case something did go wrong. And surprisingly, we didn't lose as many trees as we usually do in these type of storms. So I talked to the president of the First Aid Squad recently. I'd like to thank First Aid and MedStar, who covers a few days for us here in Colts Neck, which is the county ambulance service. They were housed during the storm at the Colts Neck First Aid building. They have made a request to be permanently housed. I talked to the president. She's going to go over it with the membership, and we'll discuss it amongst ourselves. And if people are amenable to it and it's beneficial to the town and to the First Aid Squad, we'll explore that. So that's the update on the First Aid Squad. The police, no updates other than thank you for your service in the storm, and look on their website for all the happenings that they're doing. And Historic Preservation met. We have a lot of events. Like Kathleen said, the events are all listed on the website, or if they're not now, they will be. One that's coming up that's very exciting, that's part of the bigger celebration, is the 250th dinner. And I'm going to sell a little harder, though, because if people are looking at home, this is going to be a fun one. They have kind of period food. They have some period costume people. They have a little quartet. You could have old-timey cocktails. It's $125 per person. There's tables of 10. And you could dress up like your favorite colonial person if you so desire. So it'll be a fun time. It's kind of like the kickoff to our celebration, which we're doing in conjunction with Monmouth County and the state of New Jersey, really. Every municipality is participating, and it's going to be a lot of fun. So thank you very much. That's all I have, Mayor.
Thank you, Committeeman. Deputy Mayor.
Thank you. I'll start with affordable housing update. Do you want to say anything about it? Okay. Affordable housing update, as I do every month, or every meeting. First, we're still waiting on a decision from the retired judge and the administrator regarding the mediation program arising from the 3 objections from the 2 developers to our 4th round housing plan. A decision was supposed to be in by December 31. It hasn't come in. A number of towns, I understand, are still waiting for the program mediator to issue a decision. As soon as we receive it, as we have said, we will post it on our town website. So you will see it in real time when we see it. The second point, we've talked a lot about the lawsuit that was initiated, spearheaded really by Mayor Gasali from Montvale. 27 towns joined together to file 2 lawsuits against the Mount Laurel Doctrine. The first lawsuit filed in state court, I've already spoken on that, was dismissed, I think back in September. Last week, the federal judge unfortunately dismissed the federal lawsuit. That dismissal was with prejudice, meaning that the case is over in the district court. Mayor Gasali, I understand, has stated that they will be appealing that decision to the Third Circuit. So stay tuned for that. Appeal could take anywhere from 3 to 6 months. They have asked for an expedited appeal because one of the components of the law requires towns to rezone properties by March 15. And so obviously there's an interest in getting the Third Circuit, if they are going to rule, to do so before March 15, or at least to stay more to follow on that. Secondly, Mr. Mayor, as liaison to the Board of Education, the Board of Education announced that they have appointed a new liaison to the Township Committee, and that is Kevin Walsh, is replacing Phyllis Camera and Brian Scarpa as liaisons to the committee. And one issue that was brought up at the last Board of Education meeting, there is a committee apparently that is studying the issue of declaring a critical school capacity condition. That, in view of the potential developments that we've been talking about on Wellspring and March Associates Obrey Road and on Dutch Lane, which we have stated that we oppose and we will oppose those developments. Nonetheless, the Board of Education, being proactive, is studying the issue of whether they ought to declare a critical school capacity condition, which, as I understand it, would bring all the parties together, the state, the county, the township, the unions, the Board of Education, to discuss funding criteria for potential overcrowding and also to suspend certain regulations in view of the potential overcrowding that would result if these developments ever get built. That committee is studying the issue, will be presenting their findings to the full Board of Education in the next few months, and when they do, I'll report to this body.
Thank you. Thank you.
I just, oh, sorry, hold on. Sorry, turn on my microphone. I did just want to also chime in that the Board of Education meetings are live streamed. So if anyone who is interested in going back in time to see what's been going on, what they've been speaking about, you can go on to their channel as well. So I just want to let you know that if anyone had an interest in doing that and learning about that or hearing what they're going to present on, you can go do that at the Board of Education website.
Thank you.
Mr. Mayor, can I go back to my police report?
You get one do-over.
One do-over for the police report. The new bike laws are now in effect, and I will have this posted on the police department Facebook page, but it's an easy search. It's just the new e-bike regulations. Just put New Jersey e-bike regulations, it'll pop right up. They break them into a couple of different classes. None of them are over 750 watts. It's 19 miles per hour, 20 miles per hour. Different kind of pedal and electric assisted, throttle electric. There's different categories. The highest being 28 miles per hour, but that would go into the realm of us older people. We'll remember you need a moped for license for that. I don't know if they call it a moped license anymore, but that's what we used to call it. So you still need a moped license for anything over 50 cc's. That goes 28 miles per hour. They're all the rest of them are restricted at 20 miles per hour, 20 miles per hour, 19 miles per hour. There are new helmet requirements for different ages, depending on the speed of the bicycle, where you could ride it, no parking on the sidewalk. Motor vehicles can be issued to anybody who rides these improperly, no matter what, even if you don't have to be licensed to drive one. So the smaller ones, you don't need a license. You need a license for the larger ones. And then to ride a Class 3 e-bicycle, you have to be at least 15 years old, and that's where that moped license kicks in, with insurance and registration as well, just like a moped. So that's all I have. And Long Branch, Colts Neck will be enforcing these rules very strictly. We've had several complaints, a lot of pretty well publicized cases throughout the state. Where kids have, gotten into a lot of trouble on these e-bikes. So we really want to keep a handle on it. So thank you, Mayor.
All set? Thank you. I'll keep my comments brief as well. Thank you to all our Colts Neck first responders, police department, fire police, first aid, DPW, MedStar, and a contractor staff for doing a good job during the storm. Note to the public, please do not push snow out onto the street. If you're throwing snow on your driveway, off your driveway, when you get to the end, you can't throw it on the street. You got to keep it on your property. Also, if you're having your property plowed, you're not to plow across the street on the other side of the block, other side of your street on your neighbor's property. It's very interesting when you walk around town and you see curbs crumbled. A lot of them are on the opposite side of where a driveway exits. So please, for the public watching, please keep snow on your property. But thank you to all those who made it a safe event for us. Recreation had their first meeting last Tuesday. They're considering bringing back the Home Run Derby this summer. Active Summer Concert Series is kicking off with Brian Kirk and the Jerks, sponsored by the CMBA. Seniors hold their monthly meeting next Wednesday, February 4th at the Inn. And I too attended the CMBA meeting last night. ColtsNeckBusinessAssociation.org. They've got a new webpage. They've got all of their events on there. They put their 250 events on there as well. So ColtsNeck.org. Naval Weapons Station Earl, a community should know that the Navy leadership opposes development encroachment within the 3K setback. More to follow on that. I don't have any detail on that yet. And the budget workshop, are we set on that date? So we will have a budget workshop on Wednesday, February 18th at 4:30 in this chamber. Department heads will be coming in with their asks. They'll ask will be operating in any capital requests. We'll bring that into a budget format for us to digest and discuss to help assemble the budget for March introduction. And then lastly, please consider subscribing to notifications. We've got a lot of folks that say, how come I didn't know this happened? I don't know what's going on. And we're not going to be able to send you a text individually, an email individually, a letter, et cetera. We had a notification feature put on the website when it was redesigned in 2021. If you subscribe to notifications, you can choose to get an email or a text. When the webmaster posts something, within a minute or two, you'll get a notification of what's going on. So if there's a snow day or if there's a snow emergency or some type of emergency that's put out on news and notices, it'll come directly to your phone, either in the form of an email or a text per your preference. That is all I had. Comments from the public?
Mayor, just one item. Thank you, Mayor. Last meeting, I forgot to do this as part of my report when we were talking about some affordable housing and our attorneys. Mr. Becerra asked me to make some recommendations on attorneys. I'm going to give this to our administrator to distribute to the Township Committee, and it's a list of firms for affordable housing. So I just wanted to say that I complied with Mr. Becerra's request, and the administrator, thank you for distributing that to members of the committee. Thank you.
Thank you, Committee. Procedure for public comment. The Colts Neck Township Committee welcomes comments from the members of the public. Please raise your hand if you're interested in being heard. Once recognized by the mayor, identify yourself by clearly stating your name and address for the record. Your comments will be limited to 4 minutes. Once you have finished speaking or your 4 minutes have expired, the Township Committee will respond accordingly. May I have a motion to open to public?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Public, it's your 4 minutes. Sir, please come up. His hand was up first, Mr. O'Brien. You were very close second, though. You're up.
Good evening, everyone. Sorry. My name is Brian Weiss, 24 Chestnut Drive. Weiss, V as in Victor, E-I-S-Z. I just wanted to voice my frustration as far as the ice on Chestnut Drive. I text Tara, I called the town today. They said they were going to put a report out or a work order. I came home and it's just sheet ice. We don't really care so much about the entire street. I know that the first responders did a great job. Slopebrook did a great job. These guys are working so many hours, but we're, a couple days into it, and my son's been sliding down the road. He's a new driver going to CBA. I have to drive him to school tomorrow because he's a little freaked out from this morning. So if we can just get maybe 30 feet scraped up there, maybe a little bit of salt. I know salt really won't work tomorrow in 1 degree weather, but if we can just get it a little bit so he doesn't fly right down and then get an accident when someone's flying up Hillsdale, that would be great.
Appreciate your comment. It is a problem not only on your street, but we've had it throughout the township.
Yep.
We are dealing with severe temperatures, and the
100%,
salt
I
is
agree.
ineffective.
Just
Committee to be,
from
from some of your input as an expert in public works.
So as a result of the Public Works Liaison position being eliminated by the Township Committee, I've not been privy to see and review the snow and ice control operation plan to make a comment on that. If the Township Committee would like me to look at that, I will gladly review the operations. I would like to comment. During the storm, I was numerous times I personally contacted our contractor and Public Works to see how they were doing. And like I said, I will continue to do so, but if you would like me to review the plan, I have no problem doing that.
Yeah, and I'll look into it tomorrow morning as well with our Director of Public Works. What's your address, sir?
24 Chestnut.
24 Chestnut. Thank
Yeah,
you so
just,
much.
that's, oof.
By the hill. I think I know where you're talking
It's by
about.
the hill, and
Yeah.
that's just a bus stop as well, too.
Yep.
So if we just like I said, I know everyone's so busy and there's a lot of roads, but this is just a decline like that. Just get it 30 feet would be great.
We'll look into
It's
it.
probably going to be a struggle into next week because the temperature is
That's
going to
the problem.
drop for the next
Yeah.
5 days.
Yep.
So,
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
thank you. Mr. O'Brien.
Kevin O'Brien, 18 Indian. It's the pending litigation with the town hall builder at the last meeting. Pending litigation refers to a legal dispute or lawsuit that's been filed but not yet been resolved. Colts Neck has not filed litigation, nor are you in mitigation with the builder at this time. The repairs were made with our tax dollars. Support transparency. Tell us the cost to date. Mayor Viola wrongfully played the same litigation card over the 2024 Affordable Housing Court Order, a public record. The township attorney is outstanding. She should address legal questions. Executive session discussion should remain private and confidential. You can't leak part of your executive meeting to suit your childlike bickering as took place at the last meeting. As for coffee with Mr. Bezzetta, once was enough, not again in this lifetime. The $1.5 million for the average price for the 4 contractors for the park bathroom was per public record. $742,500 is the Colts Neck grant form estimated price submitted by the town administrator, which is 42% higher than compared to the town engineer's price of $522,330. Let's have the town administrator explain how her price is over $750,000 cheaper than the average price from 4 contractors. Their bids were created long before the grant form was extended. Colts Neck duties of the township administrator, 46-6, item 6. Item D, the ordinance was created 56 years ago to document complaints concerning functions and obligations of Colts Neck to its residents. Among those complaints I submitted was a refusal to support the parking ordinance for over 120 days on the enclosure, and the code official writing a violation to a past property owner who had been dead for 10 years. The checks and balance established by the past governing body should not be eliminated because the township administrator failed or refused to support the existing town ordinance. Don't whitewash her refusal to support the ordinance. Was her failure to act ignorance or just discrimination against me for me exercising my right to speak? The town administrator wrote the golf tee box on Clover Hill Road is not a code violation. Once again, she dropped the ball. Where's the inspection reports from the code official? Town Code 20102-70.1, scenic corridor states Colts Neck Road being a protected corridor. The property owner brought in loads of dirt, altered the grade, installed a tee box, swales, a drain basin, a putting green, all within the scenic vista, but not a single violation notice was done or an inspection created. Residents who extend a report of concern, please take notice. Your name is not confidential and it is shared with the opposing party. Extend your concern signed as anonymous. Extend a bogus email or phone number, as you won't get a response on the DPW once again has done an outstanding job. Salt's in high demand. The guys were out on my street today and I stopped to thank them. Lastly, the professionalism, the teamwork, the accountability of the governing body at the last session, it was a disgrace and clearly needs improvement. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. O'Brien.
Mayor, there are a couple of legal issues I can address. Stand right now in connection with the hall. Can you hear me? Is this on? In connection with Hall, we are indeed in mediation. The contract that we are in connection with Hall requires to go to mediation before litigation. So right now we are in mediation. The second thing is the ordinance you spoke about in connection with the duties of the administrator. The 22 years I have been here, that hasn't been in practice. So I understand that we are a difference between practice and what the ordinance says. I've brought it to the attention of the committee, and at their direction, I will amend or we will change our practice. So we'll let you know how that goes.
Thank you. Regarding the T-box, that is going through the process with the planner. It has not come before this body yet. You'll see that on an agenda down the road, but that has not been gone fully through the process on Clover Hill Road. So that is still pending. There's no outcome yet.
And if I could just interject on that as well, the resident did have a conversation with both the, I can't say if you talked to the code enforcement officer, but definitely the zoning
Zoning
officer.
officer.
So no violation notice was issued because he's been very cooperative in working with the zoning officer to make significant changes to what was there and what is still remaining. So once it goes through that process, if he wants to seek additional relief, he would come to this board. But
Thank
that's
you.
why there was no notice of violation to present or in response to your Oprah, because we didn't have to go to that level. He's been very cooperative to address the concern.
Thank you. Any other comments from the public?
Hi, Dan Krasankis, 126 Montrose Road, Colts Neck, New Jersey. I would like to request.
Sir, can you come up to the
Sure.
mic? Thank you.
126 Montrose Road, Colts Neck, New Jersey. Again, I would like to request
Yeah, just a little louder.
Okay. Again, I would like to request a speed limit change on Montrose Road from 45 miles an hour down to 35 miles an hour. People go 50, 60 miles an hour, and my child goes to high school. I have to drive her because there's no busing. I can't have her walking Montrose Road to the high school because there's no busing within 2 miles of the school. Then on my way here, I saw Cedar Drive is 40 miles an hour. That's kind of high for Cedar Drive going past Cedar Drive School. I know it's 25 when children are present, but still, they got these curve signs. I mean, if you just follow the road, you don't need curve signs. Let's see. It's promoting speeding in town. All the things aren't being, I don't see enforcement of the speed limits. Let's see. Oh, I asked for turtle crossing signs. They're still not there over where Ditmar Farm is because there's turtle farms on Bucks Mill Road. It's the same water. My son and my wife and I, when we were younger, they would pick up the turtles and take them off the road. Another thing is when I go down to 537 and I try to make a left on Bucks Mill Road where Bucks Mill Park is, there's no left-hand turn. So I want to request formally a left-hand turn off of 537 going east on Bucks Mill Road so I can get to the park without being rear-ended. You have many events at the park. You have baseball games. Every street, including Montrose, Maplewood, Shady Tree, have a left-hand turn. There's no left-hand turn there. And when I go down 537, I'm continually looking in the back of my rear mirror. Other than that, legal counsel, I agree. It should be looked at. If this was the same legal team that we had during, Kushner project, I think we should look at other legal teams. That's about it.
Thank you. Committeeman Rizzuto, do you have any input regarding speed limits?
I don't know the status of the, I do not know the status of the speed report that was done or conducted by the police department, if that's been completed yet. I will check with Chief DeVito.
My understanding, it is complete.
Okay.
And that they did not find, based on the study, it did not warrant a reduction of the speed limit. So my understanding is that they are not going to be changing the speed limit on Montrose.
Right. So
But they have increased enforcement and patrols.
right. Enforcement and patrol have been increased. I believe, if I remember the report correctly, because I didn't know if it was ready for dissemination, it was 41 miles per hour, if I'm remembering correctly. I stand corrected if I'm wrong, but it was in the 40s, the average speed on Montrose. 41 actually was the number, I think. But we will, that's public now. And if you, have you gotten a copy of it yet?
It is 41.
Okay.
Correct.
That's not correct. But they put sensors out that record the speeds. I feel for you, and I'm not, trying to be argumentative, but I live on Bucks Mill, and I hear what you're saying. I can speak to the turtle signs, however. There are 2 turtle signs. I do cross a lot of those turtles myself because of my proximity to the bridge. So yeah, that is a problem. We do have 2 signs, and I think Mayor Schatzel was instrumental many years ago for getting them put up for me, or us, the block, because there are some very large snapping turtles that do get waffled on that bridge. So yeah, in and around. There are 2 signs. They're not that big, but we could absolutely open to discussing them. The problem is if they're any more ornate, they become a very attractive nuisance, and they wind up in dorm room walls because there's a turtle on the sign. So we did have a little problem with theft initially when we put those signs up, but we could talk to DPW, see what kind of signage they have turtle wise.
Thank you, Committeeman.
Mayor? Just 2 things. Madam Administrator, if you could give me a copy of that traffic study and speed study on Montrose Road.
That would be a request to the chief.
Okay.
I mean, I can get it for you from the chief,
Well,
but I don't have
I'm
it.
asking for you to get it from the chief and disseminate it to the governing
Be
body.
happy to do so.
And also, if you could send a letter to Mr. Joe Attore, the county engineer, requesting the left turn from 537 eastbound to Bucks Mill, the status of that for the Township Committee. Thank you.
I have a question. Is the study, are the findings of that study dispositive? In other words, do we need a study before we, the governing body, can take steps to reduce?
It's prudent
the
to
speed
have a
limit?
study because it's a study showing the natural flow of traffic. And that is what you would base, if you were going to change the actual, if you were going to decrease it, you'd have to show that there's a reason to decrease it, and you should have a study. I've seen studies where they've been asked for it, and it actually turned out that it should be increased. It's what the natural flow of traffic is, and that's what you're looking at for.
Well, for what it's worth, I agree that I think the speed limit of 40 miles an hour on Cedar is too much and 45 on Montrose is too much. So, thank you.
Any other comments?
Yeah, if I may, Mayor. So the reason I would like the copy of that, I would like to see what that was. There's also other continuing factors that can be used to possibly lower speed. We should look at it in its entirety on the entire road. It goes into a number of driveways and some other type of scenarios. So I'd like to take a look at that, please. Thank you.
And just to kind of follow up, as I'm the one who spoke with the chief about Montrose Road and several other traffic calming measures, Kathleen, I can kind of take that off your hands and actually reach out to the chief directly and ask for follow-up with some of the traffic calming stuff that he had also looked into, because I know that it wasn't just doing a traffic study. They were also looking into some other options. So I will go ahead and do that. When I get that, I'll forward it to you to forward to the governing body.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Any other comment? Mr. Orgo? This is Chris Sinkus, you're up.
No tomatoes?
What?
I said no tomatoes?
I dropped them off last time. You didn't even say goodbye.
And Mr. Orga, it was me on the side of the road that you went by.
Was you, right?
It was me.
I saw the car there and I said,
It was me.
Tom Orgo, 213 Hires Mill Road. The mayor talked about the people pushing the snow out in the road and everything. We got to get the police out there and getting the cars off the roads, because that is a problem. And they're out there. People park their cars while we're plowing, while we're not plowing, whenever they want, they just plow them out. We either got to push them in or, go around, leave a big swat. Then they dig your car out and it looks like we left a mess. And, we try to keep it clean, but I don't know. Did they send anybody out yesterday to Hires Mill Road?
The police?
Yeah.
Yes. I did
Because I counted
hear.
today 17 roads,
You're
driveways.
talking
that
about,
push
you're
the
talking
snow.
about snow that, yes, there was a lot on
I saw one
Hires
on the
Mill.
way
today.
over here tonight.
Huh?
Yeah.
I saw one on the way over here tonight.
Yeah, the guy's done it 2 or 3 times, so it's got to be taken care of, because that's a township road. It makes it look like a mess. Plus, it's not wide enough because they don't push it back far enough. But thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Orgo.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Some people can't walk their dogs.
Come on up.
Hi, good evening. Elaine Krasankis, 126 Montrose Road. I just wanted to reiterate a little bit of what my husband Dan had talked about with the speed limit. I will be honest with you, my concern is not as much with the speed limit as it is with the enforcement of the speed limit, as on Montrose Road and even on Cedar as well. I've noticed it doesn't have so much to do with the average speed. I think that figures don't lie, but lies figure. I'm not saying it's a lie. I completely believe that they did get 41 as an average, but there are outliers in that. There may be somebody who goes by slowly at certain spaces because they're building new, beautiful houses on the road. People do go by very slowly to cruise and see what's going on. There also are people that are speeding like speed demons up and down that road at specific times of day. So you have to look at maybe if they could break the study apart and look at the certain times of day. I can guarantee to you at the time that people are getting ready to go to work and go to school from about 8 o'clock in the morning until 9:30, that's when you're going to see the speeding. And when people are coming home from the school in the evening, that's when you're going to see the speeding. That's when the time is difficult at those kinds of days. Also, it depends on where the speed is being monitored on the road, because on Montrose specifically, there are turns, there's curves or bends in the road, and at certain bends, people that know about them are going to slow down at those specific places. So if you're going to put the speed monitoring right around one of the bends, it's obvious that people are going to be slowing down at those spots. When my husband had talked to Officer DeMeo had mentioned to him that the speed limit or the average speed was about 41, where he had said the speed limit sign or the monitoring was at first, I believe he told him was on 130, where's it, 137, Dan? 137 Montrose. And at that point on 137, the speed limit is 40 at that part of the street. On the other end of the street, it's 45, up closer to 537. So I'm not entirely sure of where it is. So, and then he told him it was at 66 Montrose, which is closer up where the 45 mile per hour speed limit is. Almost every time I drive by there, there's a dead deer on the side. And it's usually a different dead deer every time I go up there, right around where we were asking for the turtle crossing sign, similar in that area. So that's basically my comments on that area there. Thank you.
Thank you.
So the same technology that they use to conduct this study also can tell you the peak times for speeding. And what you're referring to is called targeted enforcement, and that has taken place. Maybe it's my fault for not relaying as many times as we've done it. But come from this time forward, I'll make a point to talk to the chief and report to the public exactly what the results of targeted enforcement that takes place. Not just like I said, I live on Bucks Mill. I'm with you. I'm with you. I gotta cut through. And you know, when they put the speed signs out in front of my house, it was a challenge to every kid going to the high school to see how fast they could get going to see if they could take the prize that you went the fastest down Bucks Mill. You know, and the problem with a lot of those streets, especially Bucks Mill, is that, you know, when you get to the top of the hill towards 537, the road keeps going towards Mercer up to Hominy Hill. And if you're not familiar with that road and you're going really fast and it is a straight road, you just go, and the people who live on the corner have horrific stories of that, of people doing just that. So I'm with you. Traffic safety is very, very important. Absolutely, any targeted enforcement that results of anything that goes on at Montrose, I'll report to you.
Thank you, Committeeman. Any other comments from the public?
Hello, my name is Michael Calise, 4 Ant Street. Thank you for everybody, for doing what you guys do.
And I'm sorry, Michael, can you spell your last name?
Kalisz.
Thank you so much.
John Tabia mentioned that there's no liaison position for DPW. Can you guys just speak to how certain liaison created and why this one position in particular was removed? The snowstorm in December, cleanup wasn't that great. If I'm honest, it was a lot of snow left over. This one was much better, so I'm very thankful for Slowbrook and DPW for doing a much better job. But can you guys just attest to why that position in particular was removed?
Mayor, I can speak to that. So this has come up a number of times, and, we all take a break. For years, I have been of the opinion as the township administrator that liaison positions aren't necessary for departments, such as code enforcement and public works. For whatever reason, over the years, there has been. So every year, I usually ask the incoming mayor, do we really need to have a liaison for public works? It's a department that reports into the township administrator. So once again, I did, and in this particular case, there was a decision that, if you had been to some of these meetings, the liaison would usually report on, we just completed leaf collection in Zone 4, or we're getting ready to do a senior pickup. Those are routine administrative things. So I believe it's turned into a political slight to Mr. Tabia. That was never my intent. My intent was to really just redefine not redefine, but more importantly, clarify that the liaison positions, if you look at every other liaison, it's a liaison to a committee. They go to those committee meetings, whether it's environmental, shade tree, architectural, historic, and then they report back. Public Works is a department. The department runs very smoothly. Lou Bader has done an amazing job as our director. So again, that was my initiative. I promise you, this was not something that the governing body was trying to do for some type of political slight, and unfortunately, it's turned into that. And for that, I apologize to everyone, even John. It wasn't my intent. And if there's a sentiment to bring it back, by all means, I have no objection to it. I literally was the spirit of it. It wasn't necessary because I run that department along with Lou Bader and thought that was in the best interest organizationally. So that's really all it was, sir. You're
Can
welcome.
I just chime? I'm sorry, and I just want to chime in. So first of all, thank you for your service to First Aid and all that you do, and your interest in getting more involved in government, volunteer boards, committees, commissions. I think it's wonderful when we have young folks get involved. Our role here on the township committee, whatever seat we sit in, is to legislate for the town. And sometimes I feel like that gets a little bit challenging to try and figure out who's running the town, who's doing things. And I know for me, I got, some texts from people I know about roads with the storm. People ask questions about things. It is very hard for us sometimes to not want to jump in and kind of reach out and run things. And some of us who have municipal experience and background may want to kind of put in some of that as well. And I know I've certainly felt that way sometimes. But our job here is to legislate for the town, try and update ordinances and all of that. So as best that we can kind of stick to what we're doing, and all of us are always welcome to reach out to the administrator, department head. So there really is a chain of command that we're supposed to go through. So not to give a civics lesson, but you really, are supposed to kind of go to the administrator, and then she funnels it out to the department heads, and then they kind of funnel it out. I know in a town like ours that's very small and quaint, and some of us are close friends maybe with people who work. It's easy just to call people or text people, but there is a chain of command that we're supposed to be going through. Kind of the mindset that this is just my personal opinion, that liaison positions really should be to allow for people to go to committees and boards and kind of report back so we all know what's going on. That anytime we all have an expertise or feedback that we can pass it along to Kathleen or to the department heads. And I think that stuff is very valuable when people have background and experience.
Thank you.
Mayor, I'll just add, Michael, just as another example, last year, my first year on the committee, I was appointed liaison to code enforcement. And then the administrator, I think wisely, decided for the same reasons that it didn't make sense to have a committeeman be a liaison to code enforcement because the code enforcement already reports to the administrator. And so for that reason, that position was eliminated last year. So there is, I think a precedent for that. So thank you.
Mayor? So on that same, I appreciate everybody's comments, but if you're going to eliminate a liaison position to the Department of Public Works, and as I've demonstrated, any times I have any questions, I go to the administrator, where we all should. But if we're going to go on that type of train of thought, I brought this up at the last meeting, I think we should revisit the appropriate authority over the police department away from the Township Committee and have it into the administrator for some of the same reasons that the so that the police department, just on a traffic study, 5 of us should not be going to the police department. The chief should not be coming to 5 of us. It should go through the administrator and then to the Township Committee, where the Township Committee sets policy and procedure. Once again, I'm asking for this Township Committee to review the appropriate authority designation and transfer that to the administrator. If you're going to go on this train of thought, it sets it up perfectly for what the administrator's recommendation was for the public work liaison. It would hold true to the appropriate authority over the police department and liaison to the police department. So if we're going to be looking at all those, it should be the same for all the departments, not just let's pick and choose them. So I do think that we should be looking at the appropriate authority once again, and I will continue to push for that because it is unfair for the police department to have to answer through 5 of us or vice versa for us to go to the police chief, because for one of us to go to the police chief and then a second to go to the police chief, it makes it very difficult for the police chief to run his day-to-day operation if he's going to have difference of opinions on the Township Committee for various items within the police department. It should be all go through the administrator so there's continuity for those requests and the flow of information back.
Based upon what you had brought up last time, Mr. Tabia, I started looking into that as well, because I actually, to be perfectly honest with you, was not aware that that was designed by ordinance for us. So I would say from the standpoint of, I did some homework and I dug around myself, and I think we're continuing to look into that. So from my opinion, I think it was worthwhile. But again, that is a conversation that, I think each of us needs to do the homework, see where it stands, and then we can follow up with Kathleen. And if you're going to be tasked with that, you would need to be brought in on that.
So
Yeah, can we wait until after I get rid of one of the hats that I'm wearing?
But we are I understand in concept what you're saying. There's the board, and we are collectively the appropriate authority. But then we vest the power of the appropriate authority in the business administrator to run to look. The police department chief does run everything through Kathleen currently, not so much through the board directly. I would imagine.
Yeah, I mean, I think day to day, absolutely. I mean,
Yeah. That already exists.
That organizational structure, that ordinance was in place before I got here.
Mm-hmm.
So I
Yeah,
don't
it's
know what I can't
It's
speak
another
to.
ordinance that we may well-
Yeah, I can't speak to the governing body 10 years ago and what or maybe prior to that. I'm not sure when that ordinance went into place.
So what I'm saying is that we revisit the ordinance so it is clearly designated that the administrator is the appropriate authority, and any other information that we have to put in that ordinance. So it's very clear where the chief has to funnel his information and vice versa. So there's continuity.
Sorry, I
Thank
already
you.
started.
Any other comments? Mr. Ryan?
Alan Ryan, 24 Ann Street. Your all volunteer fire department and first aid, they were ready to go. They all had it ready on Sunday. They were out there. There were text messages going around that the equipment was all ready to go. All volunteer, all volunteer. Nasty storm. Didn't know what was going to happen. That's what you have in this town. That's the best of the best. And I'm so proud of them. And, I can even, say myself, I was so proud to even know these people and be part of it. Second, I brought up a couple of months ago about a prayer before the meeting. We have a prayer at the beginning of the year. We have a benediction at the beginning and at the end. I think we should have a prayer here. Just in general or whatever. I think just the whole situation in the country all over. I think we need that. And I also think that we should sing or have somebody play the national anthem or God Bless America like they do at the Board of Ed and at the seniors.
Mayor, I nominate Tara Torsia-Bus to sing the Pledge of Allegiance and God Bless America at every meeting.
God bless America. That's it. God bless America. Land, come on, that I love. Stand beside her and guide her through the night with the light from above. From the mountains to the prairies to the oceans, white with foam. God bless America, our home, sweet home. Never forget America, our home, sweet home. Never forget the sacrifice that was made for me to do what I just did. Thank you.
Thank you for your
Al.
service.
I'm sorry.
Thank you for your service.
Thank you. All right. Thank you.
Can I just make a comment? Because Al had come up while I was serving as mayor to make that request. That's where, for some people, you see a moment of silence that was brought in. We were live streaming meetings. I got a lot of different feedback from people in reference to the statement about gotten complaints from people that we do have a benediction, an invocation. There are people who believe to be a separation of, thank you. So, I put that in as a moment of silence, whether or not it's a prayer, whether or not it's to sing in your head. I can't believe I actually sang and didn't shut off my microphone. For you, those of you at home, I am so sorry.
And it's recorded.
It is recorded, and that's okay. But I really respect what you're asking of this body. And I just want to say thank you for your service.
We can even alternate. I mean, you can ask a pastor, some pastors to alternate or whatever. I mean, I'm just a quick little prayer. God, guide this body. I mean,
Yeah, I just wanted to let you know that I just wanted to let you know that there are people out there who disagree with that. So I think we need to try and,
That's fine.
so, and I apologize,
That's why
Mayor,
they fought for the flag. I get that, but, I have the freedom of speech too that I can say, I think we should do this.
Yes, sir.
Unfortunately, public comment is done. I hate it.
I'm
All
sorry.
right, that's okay.
Thank you again, Mr. Ryan. Any other comments from the public? May I have a motion to close public comment?
Move.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Next Township Committee meeting will be held on Wednesday, February 11th, 2026 at 7 PM in this chamber. We are adjourned. Motion to adjourn.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay.
Didn't drive up that viewership yet? I want 1,000 viewers by,
Yeah, you'd
by
have to
mid,
tell me.
by mid-year.
You certainly need to visually
We have to
follow
sing
the
every
right
meeting, we'll
thing
do it.
to let me know.
We're gonna get viewers, Al, if we keep doing that.
Is that your Jeep outside?
It is.
Wake Forest?
No,
Florida State?
No, Florida State, FSU, yes.
All right, you have a W, West Virginia.
West Virginia.
Okay, move the N up to where West Virginia is. Put the name.